hoping that you can hear me because I'm not recording on my phone today. I'm actually using my IceFox camera, and I'm hoping that the audio is going to, like, I'm hoping that it's not going to pick up everything. There is a way to attach for me to wear my mic and stuff, but if I do that, I won't be able to put it in the little holder that I got up here, because this holder is not for this camera, but it's the one that I had, and it's one I use for my phone. And the reason that I didn't want to record on my phone is because the last time I did a ride with me, when I got home, my phone was so hot I could hardly hold it. And it's not that it was hot outside, because it's been pretty cool lately. I don't know why my phone was running hot, but I don't want to damage my phone because I'm not trying to have to go buy another phone, and I just want to see what this camera is going to do in this car. So fingers crossed, because my other camera is too heavy to and I see, like, there's content creators, I see them driving, and I don't know what mount they have in their car for the phone, but I see them picking it up and putting it back, and they're obviously putting it in something that's mounted on their dashboard, because you can hear like a clicking or something. And I have the same camera that the content creators I'm talking about, I have the same cameras, and because the reason that I have it is because of them. I like the quality of the video, and then they talked about using it and stuff, and it's not a heavy camera, it's just too heavy for the mount that I have, because I have to mount it to my windshield, because I tried using the mount that you put on your dash, but my dash, the material don't seem to like, because it's like a suction type mechanism, and the material don't seem to like anything stuck to it that way. And I'm trying to get over, but you don't seem like you won't let me in. The material on my dash does not seem like it favors having like any suction type thing on it. But these people, they got a lot going on today. So I do have something else, but it has a weird arm on it, and it does hook to my windshield, and it comes out, but maybe now, because I have a side, my viewfinder on this camera comes out sideways. The viewfinder on my other camera flipped up, and so that didn't work, because when I had the device mounted to my windshield, I couldn't figure out how to get it mounted to my windshield so that I can flip my viewfinder up so that I could see what I was recording, because the viewfinder was hitting the windshield. Like it wouldn't fold up properly because of the distance between the arm and the windshield. But now that I have a viewfinder that flips out sideways, I'm wondering if I can try that mount again and mount it that way. But the other problem is, if it's like anywhere from 75, 78, somewhere like that, or higher, that heat comes through the windshield and it makes your devices get too hot. So there again, I'm concerned about overheating my camera, and now it damages the camera. So I'm not 100% sure what to do, but I know I knew I wanted to try this device, because one, is so tiny, and I like the filming quality. It's really cool. The sound when we recorded at Keeneland, it wasn't all that great, but I was okay with it, which is also why I was testing out using a mic, because I was trying to see if using a mic was a little differently. But because my mic is Bluetooth, but you have to have a piece plugged into the camera. So we'll see when I play the footage back if you can hear me well. And if you can hear me well, guess what? I got a new way to film my ride with me's, and I don't have to worry about it overheating. The reason I don't have to worry about it overheating is because the mount that I have, the camera is so tiny, it sits in the mount. So the mount is actually surrounding the camera, and so it's not actually exposed to direct sunlight, which is perfect because then it shouldn't overheat, right? So I will check it when I get home and see if it's warm or did it do okay. The other thing is I want to see, because right now I look brighter in the camera than what's actually going on right now, because it is it's getting late, and y'all give me a second. Hey y'all. So I am headed home, and I figured out, I did listen back to listen at the audio, because I'm filming on my Icebox camera again. Like the setup, and I'm glad that when I listened to watch the video, I was able to hear myself clearly, and I didn't have any issues. The only thing that's kind of weird for me is that the video almost looks like I'm in a fishbowl, so it's kind of got like a rounded effect to it. So I don't know if I needed to do something to the lens or what, but I guess I'll just kind of keep playing with it to see if maybe it's just a setting on the camera, or what it is. If it can be remedied, then I'll see if I can figure out how to do that. But I slept so hard last night to the point that when my clock went off today, I was like, oh, MG, is it time to get up already? And I cut the clock off, cut the alarm off, and I closed my eyes, and I kept saying to myself, get up, because I was so paranoid at that, when I closed my eyes and just kind of laid my head back, I could have easily just fallen right back to sleep. And I think that I would have been in a deep enough sleep that I would have just been late to work, and that would not have been good, because it's not like I can just jump up and get and get dressed, jump in the car, and I'm there in no time flat. It takes me a little while to get to work. So I just popped up and went ahead and did what I had to do to get ready for work. But I don't know. I was talking to my coworker, and she was saying the same thing. She said, I don't know what it is, whether it's the allergies or, some other factors. But she said, I just been feeling like that too. We were tired yesterday, and then it seems like we went home, went to sleep, slept super hard, and just, she said she hit snooze a couple times. I was like, I turned my alarm off on my watch, so I don't know what the snooze would be on my watch. Maybe if I turn it the other way, it'll snooze, but I don't want to learn that, because then I'm used to just getting up and doing what I need to do. But yeah, so I'm on my way home, and the traffic was like super light this morning, almost like we were already in a holiday, and wasn't really that many people on the road. So I am hoping that going home is going to be a similar experience, because I'm just ready to get to the house. Usually going home is the traffic is heavier than coming to work. But oh no, I have some things that I need to take care of, but I am really wanting to and I'm thinking tomorrow, I'm body. But I want to sleep in so badly and just rest. I don't have to be up at a particular time. I don't have to go anywhere that I don't want to go. I do have some things I need to take care of, and I really need to purpose myself to do that, because otherwise I'll just keep putting it off, and I don't want to continue to do that. But this was supposed to have been the weekend that I got my, is it this weekend or next weekend that I get my car serviced? I need to double check, because they sent me a notice that I'm coming up on the number of miles where there's like a list of things that need to be replaced on the car. Besides like an oil change, there was a couple of other things that they said about this number of miles you should be getting this checked and getting that checked and so on and so forth. And so I need to make sure that appointment is made so I can get those things taken care of. I'm very excited because my daughter's 30th birthday is coming up, and anybody who know somebody turning 30, they usually call it Dirty 30. Now, I don't know where that term came from, and I'm not 100% sure, but I can only imagine. So her Dirty 30 is coming up, and I'm just so excited, because I want her to be excited about not turning 30, just having another birthday, But this is definitely a milestone birthday, and important for her to be happy. My son already had his. He's actually 18 months older than her. So every 6 months we're celebrating a birthday. Yeah. So there's a little traffic out here. It's moving kind of slow, but hopefully it'll just keep moving and then it'll pick up. I don't know where all these people came from, because they wasn't on the road this morning. I have no idea. I don't know. Usually I have stuff to talk about. I was trying to think, because I was talking to my other coworker, and we was talking about gangster rap and hip hop and stuff like that, and I had her cracking up laughing, because I was talking about how my best friend, she's in the, I mentioned before, she's in the gangster rap and stuff, and she be killing me, boy. She be jamming, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, girl. But yeah, so I'm just really ready to lay it down and relax. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop filming right here, because I don't want to just be sitting on here rambling, talking about nothing, and that's pointless to me. So if I have a topic or something to talk about, then I will go ahead and do that. But in the meantime, I'm gonna stop recording, and I'll catch up with y'all if I have anything else for you. Okay? And I'm gonna try to film more consistently. Just whatever I'm doing. I mean, if y'all want to see it, I'll do it. My life is not it's busy, but it's not interesting to me. So, but anyway, I can put up some content showing you some of the stuff that I get into. Y'all know I'm a tech head, I'm a numbers girl. So a lot of times I'll be working on different projects, for my business and at my desk. So I'm not really moving around outside like some content creators. I used to, when I had a different part of my business that was open, I was always out in the streets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, because that was like the best time for me to run my errands, take care of business. And I was just going from store to store to store to store. And I have those videos. Those are the older out doing stuff in the stores. And sometimes my daughter was with me. But that was because, I had you dealing with like picking up supplies, you dealing with mailing off packages, you dealing with checking the mailbox, and just different stuff like that. And I don't know what it was today either, but let me start off because I didn't bring breakfast. So I went downstairs and to the cafe, and they had they call it a hash brown casserole. Now keep in mind, I've had this hash brown casserole 3 times. Okay, 3 times. The first 2 times I was like, I don't know why they cook the hash brown casserole so hard, because I'm assuming the hash brown part is like there's a layer of it on top and cheese and stuff, and it's so hard to the point where I have to flip it over in a container and then microwave it for like 2.5, almost 3 minutes, and then try to pull it apart with the fork because you can't cut it. Now, don't get me wrong, it has good flavor. So what happened was, today was the 3rd day that I've had it. And I haven't had it 3 days in a row. I'm saying I've had it total 3 days, 3 times. So today was the 3rd time I had it. And I was telling my coworker, because we went down there together, and I said, last time I got that hash brown casserole, and it was like super hard, in the time before that. She said, yeah, that's the same thing I was saying. I said, I don't know why they overcook it like that. And I got there, as soon as I got there and we were talking, we both looked, and I said, at the same time, Jinx, there it is right there. And I was like, well, I sure hope it's not as hard as it usually is, because I like it. I like the taste of it, but it was just very difficult to eat. So somebody before me got it, and I saw that it was like falling apart, breaking apart, and I was like, oh, that is so good. I'm glad that it's not super hard. So I said, I'll take some too, and my coworker got some. So we went back upstairs, and I told her, I said, the container don't even feel warm, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw mine in the microwave. And I asked her, did she want me to microwave her? She said no, she was gonna do it later. I was like, okay, fine. She said, but I don't know what's going on, because she had taken a bite of it. She said, I don't know what's going on, but it tastes different. And I said, well, the lady did say, for some reason, I heard her tell the lady in front of us that it had pico in it, and it don't usually have pico in it. And so I said, do you see tomatoes? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, Lord. And so I said, well, whoever been making it the last couple of days, it's somebody else making it today, because I've never seen it with pico in it. And so she said, yeah. She said, and it's like real spicy. And I said, well, I don't mind spicy, but I said, is it nasty? She said, no, it's not nasty. It just tastes different. She said something about it is just different. So I was like nervous by then. I was like, oh God. So I went ahead and I microwaved mine. And as I was coming out of the break room and I passed by her desk, I said, you know what? I said, you said it tastes different. I said, and it even smells different than what it normally smells like. I said, and I'm not really sure why. And so she said, yeah, I know. She said, oh, I don't want to throw this away. So I went ahead and sat down, and me, I always, whenever I eat potatoes, stuff like that, sausage, whatever I'm eating, I like sriracha with my stuff. So I went ahead and poured, the sriracha over the top of it, mixed it up real good, and started eating it. Probably about the 4th bite in, I stopped, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then she said, what's wrong? I said, I don't know. I said, it don't taste bad. It just tastes really, really different. Like whoever fixed this completely different this go around. I said, I like that it's nice and loose, and you could, pick it up with a fork and eat it and stuff, but the flavor is just, it's unfamiliar. And so I put the fork down, went back to work, doing what I was doing, took another bite. By the time I took that next bite, my stomach was doing backflips. I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't eat this. And so she said, I told you. I said, I know. I said, but let me tell you what's happening. I said, my stomach hurt so bad. And y'all, I have my gallbladder has been removed, so I'm not supposed to be like greasy food and stuff like that. And at first glance, when you looked at the casserole, it didn't look greasy. It didn't look greasy at all. And and then when I was eating it, it didn't, like, I didn't get grease. I got moisture, but I didn't get like greasy. That's not the feeling I got. So the longer I sat there, all of a sudden I started kind of belching, and I said, I said, it is something in that food, it has to be whatever they cook the hash browns with, because now I'm belching and I'm tasting grease. I'm tasting some type of fatty, oily something. And the longer I sat there, the more I belched, the worse I felt. I said, oh my God. I just picked the container up and threw it in the trash. Both of us sitting there, stomach hurting, don't feel good. And fortunately for me, I had a kombucha in my bag. Because I normally have, like, I keep ginger candy. So if my stomach hurts, that's kind of what I suck on or I chew on, is ginger candy, because it helps to settle my stomach. So I remember when I took the ginger candy out of my drawer, but I kick myself every time something like this happens, because I'm like, I don't know why I took it home. I have no earthly idea why I took it home, because I have some at home, so I didn't need it at home. So I don't know why I took it out of my drawer. Anyway, I'm sitting there looking crazy because my stomach hurt. Then I started drinking on the kombucha, and I was able to kind of like relieve my stomach some by, drinking the kombucha. And I told her, I said, well, no, before the kombucha, I pulled out, I said, I have some yogurt in my bag, and I'm thinking, eat a few spoonfuls of yogurt, that'll kind of coat my stomach, and I'll start to feel better, etc., etc. That didn't work. A few bites in, I was like, it didn't make me feel worse, but it didn't help. So then I remember the kombucha. So drinking, like sipping on the kombucha, it actually started helping me to feel better. So I just did that, until I started kind of feeling like myself. But baby, I don't know what was in that hash brown casserole, but whoever fixed it this go round, I applaud you for the texture. But whatever you prepared it, whatever was going on, it tore my stomach up. Just a few bites. That's all it took. Just a few bites. And I know it wasn't the sriracha, because I eat sriracha, on different things, and it doesn't hurt my stomach. It doesn't make me feel bad. It was that, and it definitely does not cause me to belch oil, grease, fat, something, whatever. Sriracha doesn't do that. So I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. She threw her food away too. I said, you know what? That's what I get. Because one of the things that I try to do consistently when I have to drive into the office is I try to make sure I have my breakfast, my lunch, and a couple of snacks. I always make sure I have my alkaline water. And lately, twice a week, I've been, drinking kombucha. I try to have me 2 kombucha. Because sometimes if I drink the kombucha, because it's fermented or whatever, I can't just drink it. I have to take my time and sip it. So that means it'll take me all day to drink it. And sometimes I get halfway through and just put the top back on it and stick it back in my bag. I got an ice pack in my bag so everything stays cold. But that makes it where either I drink the rest of it later on when I get home, or I may drink it the next day. I try to drink it the same day, but sometimes I'll put it in the refrigerator and forget that it's there. But oh my goodness, I was like, but that's what I get. And I always say, 2 things, 2 ways that it benefits me is, one, I know what I'm eating because I prepared it myself. And the other thing is that I save money because I'm not spending money, on outside food. I've already done groceries, And I don't make it a habit of eating in the cafe, when I'm there for the week. But just every now and then, like, I told y'all before, I don't like to get bored with my food. So, trying to eat boiled eggs every day, or eating, breakfast tacos or whatever, that's kind of where I am. Sometimes I'm tired of eating, the same thing, and I need to switch it up. So if I don't prepare myself, then or I don't, because I could have easily made a hash brown casserole at home, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't think about that. So now I do. I need to think about it. So the other thing is I have ground chicken in the refrigerator, and I do need to make and I need to bag the filling for my breakfast tacos, and then that way all I have to do, and I'm actually going to freeze it. I'm gonna freeze it in individual portions. That way I don't have to keep the whole container of it in the refrigerator, nor do I have to freeze it all together and then gotta thaw it out all together. Just bag up what I need for each breakfast taco and label it, and then put it in the freezer, and then that way I can just take it out of the freezer as I want to eat it. And by the time I get to work and get ready to microwave it or whatever, it should be not, even if it's not all the way thawed out, it should be pretty much thawed out. But so just got to be more creative when you meal prep, so that your food doesn't bore you. And I usually do pretty good at that. I know my husband likes when I do the egg bites. It's just a little bit more work, because you have to beat your eggs, cut your vegetables, do all that stuff, and put it in the molds, cook it, wait for it to cool off, pull them out, pack them up, so that's the only way that he will eat eggs prepared ahead of time, because he don't like, if it's scrambled eggs, they need to be scrambled the day that he's going to eat them. If they're boiled eggs, they need to be boiled the day that he's going to eat them, because if it's done the day before, he's not going to eat it. He doesn't like it. I don't have a problem with that, because at one point I did boil like about maybe 4 or 5 eggs, and what I typically do is I will leave the boiled eggs in their shell, and then I will, the day, because it's in the refrigerator, the day that I want to eat it, I'll just make sure it's in a plastic, a Ziploc bag. I take the shell off, and then you know how on your coffee pot or like some water devices, where you water, it's not a water fountain, it's a water something like where you can get drinking water out of. They have a hot and cold water. So the hot water is like maybe for tea or something like that. So what I do is I get some of the hot water in a cup, and I take the egg that I've taken the shell off of, and I drop the egg in the hot water, and I leave it for about maybe 30 seconds or so, and then I pour the water off and do it again. And basically what that does is it warms up not just the outside, but even the yolk on the inside. And the white of the egg protects the egg from getting all mushy and nasty. But it heats it back up. So, but some people, I have my food quirks too. There's some things I will not eat because of the texture or the smell of it or whatever, and there are some things that I won't eat because I just don't like it. Because I know and then my kids are the same way, because when I was plant-based, one of the things I used to always cook, and I don't know, because I can't remember way back then if maybe I wasn't cooking it long enough, because that's always a possibility. But one of the things that my daughter never liked was the quinoa. And I don't mind quinoa. It's not my favorite thing, but I'll eat it, periodically because it's a super grain. And but I think the difference is you have to make sure the quinoa it's cooked to a texture where it's not hard, like, you know what I mean? You want it falling apart, you can knock it apart with a fork, but you don't want to hear it. Because I think one time I cooked it and I just don't think I cooked it long enough. Whoa. What is going on? This man got this cat on the back of his truck and he bobbing and weaving, trying to get over. But anyway, so much about food, and I said I was getting off of here because I didn't want to just be talking about nothing. But I think I wasn't talking about nothing. I was talking about something. Told y'all what happened to me with my breakfast this morning. But yeah, so now I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording because I don't want to just be talking about food. All right, I'll see y'all in a little bit. If you're not already a member of the Fetch fam, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and download that app, scan my QR code, and get to scanning those receipts. You might as well take advantage of it. You're already spending the money. The receipts translates into points, the points translates into cash, and you can redeem that cash via store card or cash card, or you can donate to charity. Well, all right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but we don't do so without saying, love yourself, love somebody else, and until next time, y'all take care. Bye.